So I just keep coming on you guys unexpected, unscheduled. I'm sorry about that. Myself lately I've been very busy. And the reason is obvious. This is like driver season. And like this is the best time for drivers to drive and clear debt, meet your financial targets that you probably didn't meet over the course of the year 2020. So this is just the time to drive, and I've been driving, full time in December for the obvious reasons like I just mentioned. It's not easy. I'm currently in Ikorodu. There's a I'm under a very wonderful, relaxing spot, a tree, and I'm having a good time waiting for my rider. And then Uber, how did I come here? How did I get myself here? How did I find myself in Ikorodu? Ikorodu, of course, is not a yeah. Two people have joined us already in the house. You guys are welcome. Ikorodu is not exactly the destination where drivers like to go to in Lagos because of the obvious reasons, the bad roads and all those things. But there's this new feature that enable you see how much Godwin. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. How you doing? How's the hustle? So it enables you see how much. It enables you see how much you can earn on a trip, and then Uber, their trips usually, one very big challenge I notice is that their pickup are always very long. Like for me to make this pickup, I had to drive about over 10 kilometer drive. Over 10 kilometers. I had to drive over 10 kilometers, but it was worth it. When I checked the drive time, it was about 30 minutes to get to pick up. And then the trip was valued at about almost 13k. And believe me, for you to make 13,000 naira on the streets, doing multiple pickup, you meet all sorts of human beings. Oh, Oluwaseyi says, "Where are you?" And I'm currently in Ikorodu, in Berigbe. It's called Berigbe town in Ikorodu. Down. Like, man, because it's dry season, I knew, okay, worst comes to worst, it would be bumpy roads, but no water, so I had to come. Yeah, so as I was saying, the trip showed me the future. This new future I'm talking about shows you how much you can earn on a trip. And when I saw that money, I was like, wow, fantastic, not bad. So I brought the riders here. I had challenges. I've been having some challenges with, especially the Corolla. The Corolla has been stressing me out, but I'll just finish fixing the gear. So like 6 bottles, man. I not the drink again, no. I'm before the drink, man. I not to the drink. Maybe 1 bottle or something, sha, is fine. 6 bottles, no. I go enter inside gutter. So I saw the fare and I'm like, okay, this is not a bad money to make on a single trip. Then I said, okay, I'll be coming. I picked the person up from Ogudu. So I saw the amount of money I was going to make on that trip. And then apart from that, the fact that it was a 2% trip, because I'm currently driving on 2% with Uber. Best Sado, boss, be boss, so you're a boss, man. So two dudes, I said 2 cool dudes, a couple, a guy and a girl, a lady. So I drove them all the way. While we're coming, I'm currently driving the Civic. And this is why you also need a car that is very fuel efficient, because you're going to have to drive some long distance pickup. That's the car over there. I don't think I can walk over there. It's sunny. That's the Civic. So why coming, the engine bed, and I give respect to the Civic. The Civic just got my full respect. In fact, the car is very fantastic, I must say. And that's a very separate video. Like, I've just been very busy, so to sit down and even create content, well-videoed content for you guys has not been easy. But the Civic got my respect. So why coming just after Wood, if you know Lagos very well, I noticed my AC wasn't cooling. The car started getting hot. Then the rider like, what's the lady? Now ladies, now then the first complaint for AC. You're not too like enjoyment. So the lady like, this guy is getting hot. Like, what's happening? Is the AC working? I noticed it that it was like only fan was blowing, but I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be the one to complain. Michael, the namesake. That's the same rider. The rider I brought here, his name is Michael. Cool dude. Cool dudes like Michaels are very very cool. Well done, driverpreneur. Good. God bless you. I also want to start full-time ride share in Ibadan. What's their advice? Wow. Well, I've not driven in Ibadan. I don't know how the road network is, But I took a rider from somewhere in Aja. I took a rider to Ibadan, but it was challenge. I just dropped them at challenge, and I got a trip, but the roads I saw, the way to it's too long, so I just declined. So I really don't know in terms of routes and maybe Ibadan drivers. If you're a driver in Ibadan, you can say something that will probably help Michael with one or two ideas. But some drivers from Lagos, yeah, they've driven in Ibadan. Like when they go to Ibadan, just like that trip I went on to Ibadan, they turn on their app, do some couple of trips. Yeah, I did Aja to Ibadan. Yeah, that trip was 25k. I took 25k. 25. Yeah, 25,000 if I can recall. Yeah, I can't pronounce that your name. I say Wasi. What's that? Yeah, some good to do to Ibadan. We passed through Ekpe. We passed the back route, Ibejileki, Ekpe, all the way to Ijebu-Ode, all the way down to we get to Ibadan. So it was a very very interesting trip. There were challenges. I had problems with my tires. Then I was driving the Mercedes. Yes, so the Civic, one, fuel economy. It got me. I know how long pickup I do, and at the end of the day, I still end up spending less than, let's say, around 3k. If it was a Mercedes, I would be spending like 7,000 naira fueling full day, but I still spend roughly like 3,000, 3,500 if I drive. Depends on the distance I cover. Emmanuel Tabo, that's my bro, man. My brother, man. Same mother, same father. So I had to do that pickup, fuel economy on point. While coming at I noticed my AC stopped cooling. My AC wasn't working anymore. Then the lady complained, what was happening? AC is not cooling again. I was like, I noticed it too, but I'm still observing it. So there was this fish market. If you're coming, there's this after a solo in Ikorodu. So I was like, let me pull over here and check it. They're like, it's not safe. But that place is the market though. Yeah, so sorry about that interruption. I got a phone call from a wire, car electrician. We are trying to take out the security for the Corolla. It is a very crazy complex security system, so it's giving us more problem than what it's supposed to do. A tracker is enough, it's good enough. Yeah, so I pulled over at the filling station, then I popped up my hood and I saw smoke. Before I came out, I was perceiving the smell of burning rubber. The girl also perceived it. So I came up, popped up the hood, and I like, wow, what's burning? Then I noticed the AC compressor was not rolling. And that AC compressor, the AC chills very well, ice cold AC. But there's a noise it makes. So because of the cooling effectiveness of the AC, I didn't want to change it. I've been procrastinating changing it. This thing is still giving me the coolness. Although it drags my engine down more than normal. So I know, this thing has finally packed up. But I didn't take proper notes that the belt that powers the AC compressor from the engine has actually snapped. So I continued driving. And this is another place where the Civic really got my respect. I drove the car from just after Awode all the way to inside Igberigbe. The only things I noticed was that my gel wasn't engaging anymore properly because it wasn't getting the amount of voltage it should get. The alternator stopped charging. My battery light came on. But I just kept driving. And the most important thing I really take note of is overheating. I looked at my temperature gauge. It was where it's supposed to be. The car was still moving, but the gel started malfunctioning after we crossed Agric. Probably the battery was totally drained out, so no voltage again was coming out from the battery. So I was driving. When I get to slopes, it's finding it difficult to climb those slopes, but I eventually scaled through if I rev it very well. When I put it on reverse, the idle drops to almost zero. It drops to 0 RPM. So I knew this was definitely electrical, or the alternator wasn't charging. But I'm surprised that it didn't overheat. That was the big surprise, because if it were to be the Mercedes, I won't drive up to 200 meters, and the car temperature will be rising above normal. That's because that same belt powers rules the water pump. It rules the water pump. So once that belt snaps, your engine don't get enough, don't get coolant at all, because the water pump is not pouring water or coolant into the cooling system. So I was like, oh man, this temperature is not rising, and I don't want to park anywhere. This is Kurodu. My riders were already feeling scared. Already the glass were a little bit wind down. They didn't want people to really see them. My car is tinted actually. So I like, let me just take these guys to their destination. Let me just take them to where they are going first before I even check it, since my temperature is not rising. I eventually successfully got here, and I saw that my belt snapped. So we just replaced the belt, and we bought it just from the woman. The mom of the guy was very proactive. She even helped me call mechanic to come fix it. So in essence, this feature makes you, when you sit and relax and wait for a rider, it gives you an estimated of the hourly, how your time is being paid for, which is very fantastic. So guys, just stay tuned. I think that is all for today's live podcast, unannounced. I just came up to you guys, unannounced. But don't worry, I have you guys time very, very, very soon. There's a lot, like the Corolla project. Even the Civic was a project, and well, the AC is still a project, but it was a bigger project than this, because I had to deal with a lot of issues. All those updates, I'm saving it. I'm making those content for you guys. So guys, don't forget to subscribe. So if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Here I give regular updates on my experience. I try to make it as regular as possible. Man must chop now. Yeah. So I give that update here on rideshare happening. What's happening in Uber, Bolt, now rideshare, online taxi driver. So if you are new here, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you get new videos when I post them. Like I said, I have many updates coming up. I'm trying to improve on a lot of things, camera quality, storytelling, and all those kind of things. It must be progress. 2022 is just less than how many weeks from now? 2022. So I want to see some improvements in my channel. Let's take the game up a notch. So thank you guys for staying and joining me in this live podcast. So if you don't have Uber account and you want to drive with Uber, the link is down there. Sign up. I'll leave the link to join and drive. I'll leave the link in the description, also the pinned comments. So guys, I'm already feeling fatigued. Let me relax and wait for this week. I still have like how many? Time now? Okay, I still have like another 45 minutes to wait for them. So I want to rest my nerves, so it will be a smooth drive, because there will be no AC. The AC is totally backed up. Peace guys, stay safe out there. Stay safe.